minimum of 6 matches across the season. The GPL starts the regular season with 8 weeks of online arena action, which consists of 6 max and heads-up matches. Every Tuesday, all 6 teams from each conference will face off in 2 6-max sit-and-goes. 1 team in each conference will play as the home team, while the other 5 are away. Home team managers have the ability to pick their players once they have seen the lineup of the away teams. Points will be awarded to all teams competing except for the 6th place finisher per match. First will get 7 points, second 5 points, third 3 points, fourth 2 points, and 5th will get 1 point. Every Wednesday, each of the 6 Eurasian Conference teams will battle in 3 heads-up games against an opponent from another Eurasian Conference team. And every Thursday, each American Conference team will do the same. For heads-up, 1 team from each matchup will play at home, while the other away. All 3 games will be played, with 3 points awarded per game won and 0 points awarded per game lost, with a total of 9 points available. After the 8 weeks of online arena, live heads-up play will be introduced in the Global Poker League Summer Series in Las Vegas. Teams from GPL's 2 conferences will face off against each other in cross-conference heads-up play in 6 heats across 5 weeks of daily action. Just as in the online arena, during studio heads-up play, they will duel for 3 games, with 9 possible points available per match. After the summer series, the GPL regular season continues, with 6 more weeks of online arena action, after which the 2 teams at the bottom of each conference will be eliminated, and the remaining 8 will advance to the playoffs. The playoffs will see the much-awaited introduction of the Cube, the ultimate poker arena. A 2-day event hosted from an epic venue in North America at the end of September will see 8 teams reduced down to 4 in a completely revolutionary 3v3 format. Finally, the first season of the Global Poker League will conclude its play with the live finals, played from the Cube at the SSE Arena, Wembley, in London, where the champions of each conference will be determined on day 1. And finally, on the grand final on day 2, where the Americas Conference winner will face off against Eurasia's best to determine who will be crowned the Global Poker League champions.
Hey everyone, welcome back to day 2 Day 4 of the Global Poker League. I'm Griffin Bender. This is Sam Grafton. These are really long nights, and but there is no rest for the wicked. Great win for Kitty Kuo and the San Francisco Rush, getting themselves out of the basement of the Americas Conference and proving that she's someone that really, studies her game, works so hard, and really proved that she was a force there.
I agree. And let's talk about the 2 players we've got coming in here, which is my boy Jake Cody and Chance Kornuth for the LA Sunset.
Yeah, Chance Kornuth, someone a lot of you might not be familiar with. That is, of course, the voice of Xuan Liu. Xuan with a 3-bet here with the King, Queen of Diamonds. Jake Cody now with a decision with the deuces, but they're both going to quickly fold.
In his second round match. If you didn't watch the first match, you missed a real treat, and I'm sure you can get it on replay out at the Global League Poker League at some point. But Kevin MacPhee was eliminated literally about 3 hands in, making 2-pair against Fedor Holtz's set, and we literally saw nearly nothing from Kevin in that game. It ran out so that Joao Simao played Kitty Quo heads up, and after a back and forth between the two of them, Kitty came out victorious, and she's going to have a lot of confidence going into this second match of the day.
Chance Kornuth opening up the Queen 6 suited just goes to show this is a guy that wants to play a lot of hands. Obviously has an incredible cash game background, pedigree, an incredible pot limit Omaha player, but also someone that, he's just had a lot of success recently. I think he finished, second at the PCA last year, I think.
Yeah, obviously he's had a lot of success. The EPT Dublin 25k high roller, he came second to Mustafa Kinnett very recently, and obviously a big score as well in the 25k high roller at the Aussie Millions. So yeah, incredible pedigree. I think this is way too loose in this kind of lineup, but we'll see. Chance has obviously got his own style and is excited to play, and I think we can see that with such a loose open. And here's my boy, the main man from the UK, Jake Cody. Disappointed that he went to the Las Vegas Moneymakers and not the London Rules, but I'm still going to be rooting hard for Jake, who is...
you're not supposed to do that, right? You're supposed to be impartial and not biased?
They don't pay me enough to be impartial. Jake Cody, incredible pedigree. Let's just recap: a Triple Crown winner.
And there are the lovely ladies. That's Kitty Kuo, obviously, on the left, as you all will have recognized her from that first heat. And then, of course, Xuan Liu. We saw her very briefly on the cam in the last match. Unfortunately, she was having some issues, but she's back at it now. And this is... this is who we expect to have for the rest of this match.
Yeah, and Xuan, in terms of card distribution, wasn't given many opportunities or hands. She took a shove spot against Fedor, who was opening a lot of hands, ran into his ace-queen, and was eliminated in 5th position. So hopefully we'll see more from her this time round, especially as she's got the camera on her.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting thing, too. I guess I kind of disparaged the shove by her at the time, mainly just because Fedor said he didn't like it. But upon retrospect, it's hard when you're card dead for an entire heat like that, and then you think Fedor's opening too much.
A very good turn card for us. Don't think there's much point in betting at this point.
Chance will probably go for value here.
If he bets. Obviously, we can have some kings in our range, so don't think he's turning some random hand into a bluff here.
And Joao will be relieved not to have Fedor sitting on his left. That's not to take anything away from Kitty and Kevin, who are very strong players, but those two had a lot of history online, and there was a big dynamic between them. It'll be we'll probably see slightly looser opening ranges from Joao in this match, I would imagine.
And you know what's so great about having the women on the cam in this particular heat is just hearing their thought process. Obviously, poker being a very male-dominated game, it's really great to see these incredibly talented women show up, explain their thought process, and you quickly realize how good they are. They're just as good as these guys. They're gonna battle with them, and that was proven in the first match. Kitty winning it over Joao.
Yeah, and Joao turning a lot of equity here with the Queen Jack. Hard for him to win a showdown, so we're probably going to see him exert some pressure on Jake, even though it's Jake that has more flushes in his range at this point, I would imagine. Jake's certainly going to call the turn here, and then if it bricks off, Joao's going to have a tough decision about whether to go for a bluff on the river. I was recapping Jake's achievements. Obviously won the 25k heads up event at the World Series. And this is a pretty bad card for Joao on the river, but he doesn't get to the river with a huge amount of bluffs. So it'll be interesting to see whether he takes this spot and how Jake Cody responds. Yeah, Joao forced to shut down. The 9 is a much better card for Jake Cody than for him. He recognises that and shuts things down. And bad news once more for Kevin MacPhee, because he's picked up a premium holding, and Jake Cody with an even stronger hand in the small blind.
He does have the benefit here that Chance Kornuth, actually this is not good for business, because had it just come to Jake, he would have 3-bet here, and I imagine that Kevin could easily just flat over 100 big blinds deep. But now it's a situation where Kevin has to make a really, really, really disciplined fold once Cody makes it around 4,000, 4,500 here. This is going to be, make or break for Kevin MacPhee here and the New York Rounders. Really unfortunate turn of events for the American.
This chat's so hilarious right now.
Xuan and Kitty are talking on, or Xuan's talking on the Twitch chat, is she?
I believe that, I don't know if she's talking, but she's maybe reading it.
And real tough decision for Kevin MacPhee. Probably absolutely fine with the chance Kornuth 3-bet, but he'll have a lot of experience with Jakey, and he'll know that this is not necessarily a spot Jake's going to take as a bluff too often.
Well, I agree with that. I think anyone who's familiar with Chance Kornuth as a player knows that he takes a lot of spots, and maybe Cody has a hand like Ace-Queen that he's 4-bet folding, so that's really where the problem comes in for Kevin MacPhee. He does have Ace-King blocker, he's suited. It's just a super tough spot, and I really don't think he can find a fold.
And hold!
Oh, Kevin.
Bad news for Kevin MacPhee.
Come on, it's
Been so unlucky. 7
Yeah.
for a chop. 7. Let's take a
Yeah.
7. I'd like to see Kevin MacPhee stay in this. He's been he's so unlucky. Out in double quick time in both matches. Unbelievable.
Poor
This
Kevin.
Maybe he just had it somewhere to be, I don't know.
I mean, this is variance in poker. I told you Cody was one of the best, did I
I
not?
guess that means we are guaranteed at least 1 point.
Yes.
That's
Everyone
one way to
loved
look
it.
at it, Xuan.
Kevin MacPhee will be cursing Chance Kornuth, randomly clicking buttons with King 9 off, ensured that the
Yeah.
money went in there.
Exactly.
And great start for Cody. He's been playing in the GPL less than 5 minutes and already a huge double up.
Yeah.
So to recap, you're watching the second match of today's Americas division. The first match won by Kitty Kuo, who defeated Joao Simao. Heads up, she secured 7 points for the San Francisco Rush. And we're now 5-handed, everyone having locked up a point. And we're going to see Kitty continue versus this race, even though we know she's in terrible shape.
I think she looks great. Gotta say, I think I mentioned it earlier, Xuan Liu, one of the swankiest looking pads in the background there.
Yeah, it's almost in the Vovtroy League.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there for sure. Really beautiful. And I always love that she does the Bonomo hair thing. I love that. Just different
And
colors,
Kitty,
everyone respects. Beautiful,
check
beautiful
calling here with the 2 overcards, backdoor flush. She can turn a lot of equity, and Chance could have a less strong holding than the dominating ace-queen. And now I'd be interested to see, I presume this is pretty much the bottom of the range, her range she arrives at the river, and whether she turns it into a bluff.
Or just check.
Seems like a pretty good spot to bet.
Queen 10 probably showdown value, but we're going to bet 28.
Another nice hand by Kitty. I mean, she's showing today that if anyone did underestimate her, this third round draft pick is going to be a formidable force in the global
The
poker
goal is
league.
to not bust with this hand. Okay. Chance made it 3x here, BBB, but given how deep we are, definitely going to be 3-betting this for value.
Chance quickly realizing he's not going to have it all his own way
Go
in
your
this
side, Chance.
6-max encounter.
A nice little reference from Xuan there.
Really?
Wow.
He made it so small that we're gonna have to see a flop. Okay. I really hope I didn't jinx myself with the not busting with ace-10 comment. Hopefully we just outflopped a bigger pair of his, or, you know. I think given that we both have under 2 pot size bets behind, I can try to get 2 streets of value with my hand, and check back the flop to keep certain bluffs in and allow him to look me up later on later streets. Not really the best turn card for us since we don't have clubs. But I think we need to bet some for protection here. Not sure where we can possibly get value from. I think he mostly has King X types of hands. I guess he just continuation bets all better aces, but given that tournament life is kind of important here, and I really don't expect him to look us up without an ace, or even with just a naked king, I'm just going to check this back.
Nice pot there for Xuan Liu, and even better holding the next hand.
This is so much more fun when you're getting playable hands. I shouldn't speak too soon. At the moment, I'm still only guaranteed how I did last time. I'm okay with just pot controlling this. It's nice that we have the queen of clubs. But we don't really think we can get 3 streets of value with just second pair here. Still don't think there's much of a point in betting. We would be thrilled if Jake could turn some of his random Broadway type hands into a bluff now.
Not likely. This is Jake Cody we're dealing with. What an incredible career the Brits put together, Sam. You want to talk a little bit about Jake Cody?
Well, I'm just hoping he's going to check this. Yeah, this is a bit button clicky from Jakey.
Yeah, I could tell you were quiet and you kind of like...
this is the sort of thing like you could do in the past.
Pretty good card for us.
Xuan's going to have a well-constructed check calling range, and he's got no equity against her holding and basically against her range.
Yeah. Everyone's an expert when they're in the booth, eh?
Well, I mean, it's just not necessary with this part of his range. And he shows down one stab and a nicely played hand
we
from
gave him a
Xuan.
chance to bluff, but it was probably pretty smart that he didn't choose to bet again with no equity there.
And you could see there an example, Xuan giving us great insight into her thought process. But you could see there, for those of you newer to poker, how you can also make chips by checking there, because Xuan elected to not continuation bet on the flop. She allowed Jake to take a hand with almost no chance of winning and put chips into the pot. And, you know, obviously for hardcore poker fans, that's going to be very obvious. But for those of you new to the game, when you're playing yourself, that's something to bear in mind. And Chance opening again, and Kitty with a very strong hand in the big blinds, flopping strongly as well, and Chance might get himself in trouble yet again with this loose strategy.
Come on, Chance, see bet.
Does Kitty ever check raise here for value, or do you think she just always check calls?
Chance is going to probably go for it again here and represent a king-queen, ace-5 type hand. quick call from Kitty, and not a great
I
start.
know you're going to bluff. Chance, I know you're going so much, okay?
So that's fantastic to see. Kitty telling us there that the reason she checked that strong hand twice is because she knew Chance wouldn't be able to resist bluffing at the pot. Really interesting as the season goes forward, whether we see these kind of dynamics emerge as people get to know each other's games even better.
Yeah, that was pretty hot. That was a great play.
Yeah, super cool from Kitty.
Should definitely also be three betting this sometimes, but considering how short Chance is, especially, we're just going to hope to play smaller pots at this point.
You know, it's funny. We have the two beautiful women on the camera, but a part of me misses
we have
Joao.
backdoor spades, and king
He's
high
such a
is going to
sweetheart.
be good a lot of the time here, so definitely calling a pretty small c bet.
Sounds like Kitty might be talking to Kevin MacPhee and making him feel better about that unfortunate
to get
cooler.
to showdown and hope to be good a lot. Hopefully he'll assume that we're calling him down with ace high, and if he bets here, we're just gonna fold.
To be honest, I miss fader holds as well.
Well, Joao was really insightful as well, and someone I didn't know as well. I've obviously played with him online, but didn't know him personally. And it's great when you see these guys utilize the webcams. Kitty does sometimes play on Twitch, and also Xuan has her own Twitch stream. So hopefully that's one of the things the GPL will allow. I wonder if Jakey's considering a 3-bet here. It'll allow a sort of crossover. Hopefully people will go away from this match and start to watch Xuan online on her Twitch stream. And people will come from her Twitch stream and watch this match. Yeah, I think that's I'd like to pick perhaps slightly weaker hands than that, but I wasn't surprised to see Jakey take that low suited connector and 3-bet.
Doesn't get much weaker than 3-4, but I guess it was suited.
I think we should be checking this flop at some frequency. But if he's not super sticky post-flop, I think it's okay to bet this as well. King high could be good here some of the time, and we have backdoor straight draws and flush draws.
Great analysis here from Xuan Liu of the Montreal Nationals.
This card doesn't really change the original equities of our hands very much. Like, whatever it was on the flop shouldn't have changed too much after that turn. Okay. Kind of glad he hasn't been 3-betting hands like that.
Xuan Liu, a student of the game. Kitty Kuo going to be back in action here against her arch nemesis, I Need Masari. Oh, and we'll just get a, juicy flop.
Yeah, for those of you who missed it, these two guys played each other heads up for the win in the last 6-max match. Slightly earlier today, Kitty Kuo coming out on top in that confrontation, and Kitty turns a flush here. And Joao's going to have a tough time deciding.
I see the flush.
Oh, I don't like this bet from Joao.
I think I'm going to raise here. How can he bang the turn if I have a flush draw? Is there better ace king with ace high or king queen with king high? It's really bad.
Couple of cowboys for Xuan Lu under the gun here. I imagine this will be folded to the big blind where we'll probably see a defend from Chad's Kornuth, Sam.
Okay, this is interesting. Chance peeled his big blind here, and after watching some of his earlier matches, I don't think he's super peely from the big blind compared to a lot of pros out there these days.
And awful turn card for Xuan Lu as Chance turns to pair.
And you'd expect a pretty big bet here, yeah. Relatively big.
Pretty annoying size, but I think it's just super exploitable if we are going to be checking back this flop and not calling at least one bet.
Xuan really hoping for a check, but it's not going to be forthcoming.
I think given how short Chance was to start that, and he should know that we're technically not capped after raising from early position here and still him going basically all in, I'm actually gonna lay this pair down, which kind of hurts, but hopefully I made the right decision.
Great stuff there from Xuan Lu. You know, not to big up the... Oh, wow. Okay, I'll stop speaking again here.
Oh, poor Joao.
Well, I don't know what Zhao's doing. He's
No, it's 'cause you know what everyone else has.
he's like, yeah, I can steal here. Probably chances are no one's got a hand.
To defend ace 4 here. Kitty 3 bets this, but I think we're actually deep enough to cold 4 bet if Chance folds. I think we kind of have the perfect stat depth for it.
I think this is a misread because of the sizing of Kitty's 3 bet here. I think it's actually pretty strong and she's doing it for value. So the analysis, while understandable,
Obviously, Howe's opening.
I don't think I would attack a 3.5x 3 bet. Would you?
And Kitty's on a natural high from her win, but now I can't really do much. Good luck, Chance. Okay. That would have put Kitty in a weird spot, but not sure if she would have folded for 30K here. What a great
One outer
flop
here for
and turn
Kitty.
card for our
Not
hand.
going to get
Okay.
there, as Joao obviously folded the Queen 9 offsuit.
And Chance Kornuth showing something that we've seen a lot in these matches is that players really aren't out of it when they go short in these 6-max formats. You can go down to 9 and 10 big blinds and quite easily make a comeback with the kind of skill levels that these guys have got. So once again, that evens things up a little bit. Jake Cody with a commanding lead. If you've just joined us, he called Kevin MacPhee kings to ace-king. Xuan Lu also picked up some nice pots. Won a big pot against Chance Kornuth when he elected to 4-bet, I believe it was king 8 off. And the other guys pretty much level pegging.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting considering how chose to just peel the ace jack there.
Great
Let's
analysis
see.
there by Xuan. She
Sort
might
of
see
like
through this.
35 bigs. I actually think this is a pretty good spot to go all in versus him.
Really really strong read from Xuan, showing that what a top-class
I think
poker player
he's
she
kind of
is.
trying to adjust, not really believing that I could possibly have a hand on the button every single time, and realizing that I am capable of seeing and playing flops.
Xuan just proving such a smart poker player, and a great read there. Joao not able to take advantage there, and great to see. Awesome poker.
Jake has to decide whether to bet or check. He checks down, and they're probably both.
Check. King high probably good. What happens if you bet? I'm going to raise him. Raise king high. Most of my pair probably can check on where, so I will just check. No need to bet it. Yes.
And they chop that up.
Pretty well.
Tomorrow, guys, at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, Nanonoko versus Trickett. Nanonoko, obviously, that huge success that he had in that first opening round of heads-up matches, getting those 9 points for the Hong Kong Stars against Sergei Lebedov. But Sam Trickett, this will be his debut in the Global Poker League. Obviously, an icon of the game. A sex symbol almost. I'm excited to see Sam Trickett get into the action. It's amazing that he was able to join the league, and it's going to be great.
Really unorthodox. I actually haven't played that much with Chance. Obviously, the greatest respect for Chance's game, as we talked about. So many incredible results. Plays high limit, pot limit, Omaha as well, but some very unorthodox choices. Choosing to rejam 10-9 off there, perhaps not as experienced in this short-handed, no-limit hold'em format.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit inclined to disagree. I mean, I think that like a lot of the things might be kind of a feel thing, like, but I agree.
One
Obviously,
of the worst hands we could have in the big blind.
I just know he's an extremely strong hold'em player based off watching him play.
Off the fact that he's
Okay
won
with
absolutely
just
millions at the game.
Yeah.
I mean, of course. It may be some stuff that. Put it this way: he's employing a different strategy from the one we've seen a lot of players taking this
which
format.
is
So that's going to be great to see play out in the coming months. How boring would it be if all people, everyone was approaching these tournaments in the same manner? He obviously has different ranges, which he thinks are correct.
Yeah, and it's just a great thing also about the Global Poker League. I mean, we do have 72 of the best players in the world, but none of them play the same. A lot of people have.
We can just fold here without worrying too much.
A lot of people have, similar tendencies or this and that. But for instance, earlier today we saw Guan Dongguo. I remember the names were switched. Guodong, yeah, the names were switched around, so it became a bit confusing there. Apologize to him and the Hong Kong Stars. But yeah, we saw him, and even more of an apology what I'm about to say, but we saw him with, the worst hand probably we've seen played so far, but it's obviously very relative. 3 to 5ing the dynamic. We're talking about how much it can affect people. So not everyone is going to play the same. We're going to see some fun action and stuff like that. When people decide to maybe fall off the rails a bit. So it's just nice that the Global Poker League can be so unpredictable and so much fun to watch.
Well, the second pair we're going to check.
And big trouble on the turn for Jake Cody.
Small. No more checking, Jake Cody. I will bet if I have a flush on schedule as well. I think there's an ability to bet a turn, but the turn is also can be his range.
And Jake Cody rescued on the river.
You need to bet pot.
This will go bet, all in, and call, and chippity chop.
Wow. Six sizing from Kitty Kuo and Jake Cody.
How exciting.
Big hands being dealt here. Xuan Liu, you can see the difference in the way she's playing, Sam. Last game, obviously, didn't get a lot of hands. We didn't really see a lot from her. Now she's, having a lot more fun, so it's great to see.
Yeah, of course. I mean, one thing we emphasize again and again, card distribution does play a big factor in how successful people are going to be in this format. Such high-level players, such high-level thinkers that you need the rub of the green. And I'll let Xuan take over.
Jake. This is the first time we've gotten 3-bet. That shouldn't mean much, though, because Jake has position on us and is chip leader. We are definitely just going to try to get our stacks in at this point. I'm not actually sure how peely Jake is. So I'm not super confident on the size, but I think hopefully this would be enough. Obviously, it still looks like we have some equity, that it obviously looks like we can still fold after making it that much, given how deep we are.
And again, a huge hand for Xuan Liu, and she just has a smile on her face, and it really shows the swings in poker and just the card distribution, as we've spoken about many times before, Sam. Another great example of it right here.
Yeah,
This is so much fun.
I think Chance has realised that a 3xing strategy against a player as good as Xuan is not going to work out well.
He learned the hard way that I think he underestimated her. She's a lot better than he thought.
I agree with that.
And to be fair, a little bit better than I thought, too. And I had a great deal of respect for Xuan. Again, a small sample size. We're only seeing, a couple matches, but the way she breaks down hands, it's really impressive to see, and she's a great representative for Marc-André Ladouceur and the Montreal Nationals.
Why cannot win a pocket night against pocket queen?
Kitty having a little moan, but she was victorious in the first match of this conference.
Obviously, this is a very light open.
Wow.
But given how his stack size, I don't think he's going to be peeling that much anymore.
I like the steal.
Would just be either going all in or folding.
I mean, I think this is pretty bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you like to break that down for the viewers, Sam?
Line a bit there.
There's just no need to adjust your ranges that much. Joao is still going to be peeling like hands that completely dominate Jack 3 off. You just don't have enough equity. You're going to get shoved on a fair bit.
So would you prefer maybe an open to like 18, 1900 if you open?
You just open it. You can't get away with opening 75% of hands anymore on the button.
Right, especially against players of this caliber.
Yeah, exactly. You can do it in like different tournaments to this.
Guys, for the latest info about the GPL, please visit www.globalpokerleague.com. We have everything over there, a breakdown of the teams, the schedule, the standings, the MVP rates, everything you can hope for. And again, you can also follow the question at GPL.
Probably should fold and the chance open too much.
Yeah, I presume Chance will shove here if he shoved the 10-9 off.
Nice play, Chance. Not open king 5, sure? Yeah, I should. Too tight. Too tight, kitty go.
And Xuan just attacking Chance now. I like that raise there with one of her worst suited hands. And Chance has had a rough introduction to the GPL, but I'm sure he's going to adjust.
I think he's playing fine. It's just he's obviously playing against someone who's maybe a little more difficult than he expected.
I kind of want to do more commentary, but when I do, it really slows down the action because I do kind of pause just so I can finish saying what I want to say. So excuse me if I slow down on the commentary from now on. After Jake checks this back, I really don't think he has much within this range, especially since he has this coverage. He should be looking to raise our limps at a pretty high frequency.
Yeah, really interesting point there by Xuan Liu. Again, they're told to only commentate on the hands, obviously the ones they're involved in, but that's kind of convince them that they need to talk every single time, which is obviously not the case. This is still a huge competition, a lot of points on the line, and we saw what happened to I Need Masari last game, where he wasn't able to, when he got on the hot seat. So again, the players are encouraged to talk, but of course they don't have to do it every hand, and I think that's really the moral of the story there.
I don't know if I'm getting into a bit of trouble here if I call. I feel like I'm getting the correct pot odds, especially if he's doing this with pretty random hands. I mean, that's kind of why we limped, so that we can see a flop even if he does choose to raise this. Obviously, once we flop a flush draw, we're just going to get it in.
And Joao needs to fade some outs.
Spade, Jack, or a 9, and Joao
Yes.
will go home. She makes the
game,
absolute nuts, other than,
And
Royale with cheese.
Joao Simao couldn't.
What do you guys think of my call pre-flop? Do you think he made it a bit too much?
I like
for us
it.
to
It's
call
Jack
flop
9
for you there?
suited.
It's pretty close, right?
And Joao Simao, who came second for the Sao Paulo Metropolitans in the first match, eliminated there in fifth for 1 point. And now Xuan Lu is the chip leader. Her and Jake Cody both with huge stacks. And we're going to be seeing some four-handed poker.
Yeah, it's all coming up Xuan here. Now she's dealt
Keep
Ace
them
King.
coming.
It really shows you, how much the game can change and who becomes the aggressor based off
Yeah.
card distribution. It's really fun to watch.
And you got a feel for Joao there. Obviously, he had the best hand pre-flop, the best hand on the flop, getting unfortunate there. But he's made an impressive showing on his debut in the Global Poker League. And all the case ace
I
coming.
think Jake Cody is definitely weighted towards pairs and Broadway type hands. It's nice that we have the ace of spades. Maybe we should bet this.
And at this pace we're on, it looks like an all-woman sweep of this round of matches is possible. Obviously, Kitty Kuo still waiting there with her 21K chips. Xuan Lu with the chip lead. So the women really showing that they're here to play early on in this season.
Okay. Really not a spectacular turn card. We really would have wanted a spade at least, if not a 10.
She doesn't want much, does she, Xuan?
No,
I'd like
she
a 10.
doesn't.
Like a
No.
10, please.
I still think this is probably the most profitable way to play this hand. It does put us in some tricky spots.
Ironically, it's actually
depending on the run out.
the best card for her.
And
the
chance.
You're not crazy about this?
Well, no, he feels that he is the person that has the most jacks
I'm
in
just
the
gonna
range.
fold. I think it's just
Well.
super strong when he bets the size into two players. Sometimes he has a flush draw here, but I mean we block with the ace of spades, so just gonna give him credit at this point.
And fantastic play. I mean, I think this is Chance's Omaha
And then
background.
obviously it sucks that we're in between him and Jake.
Such a strong hand reader. He recognises that Jake doesn't bet many jacks on the flop, and that Xuan doesn't have too many in her opening range. And it'd be interesting to see whether he could follow through with it, or whether he just hopes to check down and chop this pot up. Because if he goes all in, Jake Cody cannot call, I don't think. And this is really interesting from Chance.
It's interesting. I don't know how many Queen X hands that Jake would have actually. Maybe Ace Queen, Queen Jack, obviously. But it's interesting that it's Chance's turn out of position and he's talking to Jake, trying to get a read off him in online poker. I mean, it'd be sick if this was a huge level on Chance's part. Like, Chance just, has a boat here, trying to convince Jake he's weak to look him up with, I don't know.
Wow.
Masterclass.
Maybe chance is a missed flush draw, but really don't think so. Pretty sure he just gives up after that river because, you know, he's just beat by pretty much everything. And Jake's a heads-up player and is obviously smart enough to know that. One kitty, you're not even in the hand.
And the thing for Jake is if Chance's bluffs are actually chops, it makes it even less appealing to call this river. I mean, again, very, very unorthodox from Chance Kornuth. I'm very, very surprised by this line.
Do you like it now?
Well,
It's pretty fun.
but we're seeing why he's such a crusher in the tournament circuit, on the tournament circuit. And I think it also shows his sensitivity to ranges that he gets from being an Omaha player. You know, aware of not thinking about just his hand, but who that turn card favors the most out of the three of them, realizing that, you know, that he has the most jacks. He also has the most king tens, by the way. Not that that's relevant to this river show.
I think Cody has more jack tens probably.
I wonder.
Right, flatting
King
king
10,
10 suited.
Pretty sure chance
10,
to check.
Yeah, king
calls
10, like king 10
sometimes with a
suited.
jack here,
He has
so-
all offsuit combos and suited combos. Jake only has suited combos.
Right, that's a good point. Okay, fantastic.
I really think he was trying to level Jake into calling him here with maybe king 10.
Even Xuan Lu gets it wrong. It's good to
Yeah,
know,
love it.
Xuan. Good to know that
Jack,
she's not
Jack 10.
that much better than us at commentary.
Really interesting hand.
Another person they tried to get ahead of us. It was Stapes. Like she was like 10th on the list, and then they came to us like in 15th. Griff. Jake Cody using a huge amount of his time back. And Jake does fold. I don't blame him on the river there. Having a 9 in his hand.
Can't wait to see that hand
kind
on
of
the
bad.
replay.
He would have got half the pot had he made the call. And Chance Kornuth, an incredible comeback down to just a handful of big blinds. He is now second in chips.
You know, we have a suited hand here. Can definitely peel for just over one extra big blind.
I'm not crazy about this
Don't
peel.
flop very much, so expecting to
18
just
big blinds
check
effective.
fold here.
I think it's not a great hand to peel. You agree?
No, I would peel every
Yeah.
suited combo here. But that's why they've got us together, bruv. Differing styles, you know, the flush entity and
No, we're
Squid
just together
Poker.
because I asked for a British sidekick, and Hardigan was
Mate, he's not
available.
You see, he won't take a sidekick role.
Yeah, that's the problem
He
too.
will
He's
take
not
the
a
main
sidekick.
man role,
Yeah.
but not sidekick role.
Yeah, I know.
It's only me who's willing to be your sidekick, bruv.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting to be like, you know, the leading man to your Kevin Hart movie. It's really, it's tough. I feel like Will Ferrell or The Rock.
And Xuan obviously thinking about 3-betting here. I think you can peel with this hand out of the small blind, as crazy as that sounds, but more conventional to use it as a, inverted commas, a bluff combo. The old days, Jake Cody was all in there, by the way, back in the day. So, guys, just to recap, you're watching Four-Handed Poker. This was a 6-max tournament. We lost Kevin MacPhee almost immediately, going out for the double donut. Then we lost Joao Simao, whose top pair was outdrawn by Xuan Lu's flush.
Joao is S8. I'm going to check.
And they are competing for points for their various
I think-
franchises.
The hand with the hand we have on this texture, it should be something we would be looking to delay c-bet. Okay. No heart, but once Kitty checks, we're gonna try to take down this pot. Hopefully she'll fold some ace highs.
When Xuan play the king queen or king J on the flop, most of the time he can check and better turn was open ended. He can also check king some 10 and ace high. He definitely bet a middle pair. Good. disaster over there. I block A, so it's half of him have A9, and he can. Well, he put A9 on the flop. Probably better check on the flop. Doesn't turn. We check.
Actually,
It's
take
really
this
hard to
down
say.
with
You
an
can block
overbet.
king, queen, king, jack. No,
Oh, I see she never has tens.
I'm alive. Okay, so what are there?
Xuan Lu going for it
Fucking
on the
heat
river
up here. Seriously.
and putting Kitty Kuo in an incredibly tough
The
spot.
river is really disaster. But I block with A9 and well, you have a 10-9 here and checking the flop. Ah, shit. I want to make a hero call so much.
Wow.
How many combo you have? Listen. Why are you checking the flop? The size is not bluff. You should probably. I don't know. I don't know.
Kitty Kuo trying to work it through.
Sweet. We get the fold.
She wanted to make a hero call, she said, but wasn't able to pull the trigger and collect the chips. And Xuan Lu with momentum, a big stack, and a lot of poker talent.
And we see now the blinds are up to 800,
Oh,
1600
it's
because of
okay,
these
it's
hands
okay.
where there have been a lot of decisions. So we're getting a little short stacked here. Obviously, that's going to play to the strengths of the seasoned tournament professionals such as Jay Cody, such as Xuan Lu. As we saw, Kitty Kuo so bloody strong with her ranges. We learned that in that first match.
I think what it will benefit is the players that play online most, which I don't fully know, but I think it's Kitty Kuo and Xuan Lu. But Chance Kornuth is, a bit of a wild card here.
It's folded to us. We can apply a lot of pressure on Jake here. Considering that Kitty is shorter.
And
Okay.
Jake taking things to a flop. You can see Xuan has a gut shot and Jakey second pair.
We flop a gut shot in the back door. Kind of just hoping that we can see a turn card pretty cheaply. Really not a great turn card for us. Although, I think Jake would have just jammed most of his ace-x hands and pairs, so that 10 actually...
As you can see, guys, Chance Kornuth is now on cam instead of Kitty Kuo. He's talking over the hand right now, but I'm sure that we'll let him know that he should wait until he's involved in the hand. But it is interesting to hear his outlook anyway. Perhaps maybe we'll just let him...
Rocking the Joao Simao patented vest top.
Yeah.
The poker player's choice.
Absolutely.
Xuan a little frustrated and lets it go.
Not sure about that last hand, really. Okay, we're just gonna raise fold.
Be surprised to see Xuan have a
Keys are
raise folding
okay.
range here, but Kitty's gonna call too much in that showdown.
I'm crying because I have something in my eye. All this makeup I put on for you guys.
You guys don't need me to say it, but Kitty flops super strongly here. And great fold from Xuan, recognizing that Kitty's not going to stab with a high frequency there, and folding the king high may seem automatic to some of you guys at home, but to get away from that king high without putting any chips into the pot, pretty impressive. And the way Chance is constructing his ranges, we could see an all-in and a call here.
I think I want to keep it worse here, so I'm just going to call and defend.
Wow. And really interesting to see that Chance is shoving hands like King 9 suited, and with the hand like King Jack, he's just almost like trapping with it and keeping the weaker parts of Jake Cody's ranges involved. We could see that...
I don't mind floating here, but I think that I've been shoving on him so much, he might actually have a lot of ace highs in his range.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna flop so many dominated kings and jacks that he wants to keep, Cody's king 9s, king 8s off, and stuff like that in hand.
And also perhaps an adjustment, realizing that because he's been shoving so much, Jakey may indeed have tightened up his button opening range. Really impressive stuff there from Chance.
Do you think Chance is going to get away with this one?
The old Jake Cody would have put it in his eye, but I think that with Kitty being short, Jake has to play the ICM game and maybe back down. Yeah. He's probably thinks he's got quite a tight opening range there on the cutoff, a bit tighter than Chance perceives, so he feels comfortable folding the A6. Don't think that that's a mistake, even if Chance was sort of bluffing this time. Again, bluffing should be in inverted commas there when we're talking about pre-flop situations. If you're just joining us, this is the Global Poker League. 4 real top poker players in action. The 2 in the hand. Jake Cody, a Triple Crown winner. He's won a WPT, a European Poker Tour title, and a World Series of Poker bracelet. Chance Kornuth, also a high-stakes Omaha player, plays some of the biggest cash games in the world, also with a string of incredible results in high rollers, particularly over the last 18 months. So you're going to see some real high-level poker here. Chance... you can see we have in the webcam on the left, and Xuan, a very, very experienced and successful tournament player representing the Montreal Nationals on the right in the webcam.
I think it's a bad river. Could call the turn with Queen 10, but probably not. I don't think he's calling the river with a 7, so I think it's just a good spot to check back and hope I'm good.
Really great correct analysis there from Chance Kornuth. Definitely someone you want to listen to if you want to learn about poker.
This is awesome.
Wow.
I'm going to try to punish these guys a little bit.
He's
Not going to work.
I mean, I don't know.
He's actually saving Kitty's life here.
Yeah, I agree.
The ladies sticking together.
I mean, this is pretty unbalanced.
Thought it was a better spot because I didn't think Kitty would be flatting too much off her stack, but in hindsight, I think she does flat enough off her stack.
Here we're in position, and stacks are a lot shallower, so we can afford to make this 3-bet a bit smaller.
And we should point out, Kitty Kuo obviously did win the match before. Still in this, 4-handed.
And she will be all in here, probably. Depending on if Jake decides to get a little kooky.
No, Jake is going to fold this, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, 14 big blinds, far too much. Yeah, Kitty winning the first match. She has the opportunity to be the only
well,
depending on how this hand goes, of course, but the opportunity to...
China versus Taiwan. Ace. She already won one. She doesn't need another one. Come on.
A lot of good turn cards for Kitty's hand. That is not one of them.
Deuce.
Kitty Kua 1 card away from being eliminated 4th here in the second heat. And she is.
Good game, Kitty. Sterling performance across the
already.
2 matches. Fantastic stuff from Kitty Kuo. I think no one could have watched these 2 matches without being incredibly impressed.
GG Kitty.
Kitty's starring in a reality TV show called Girl Got Game, apparently, and she certainly proved she had game there today.
Absolutely.
So we're 3-handed. Xuan
Playing
Lu.
a lot with these stack sizes.
Okay, Chance. We'll try and let Chance speak if he does come in. But Xuan Lu, Chance Kornuth, and Jake Cody, 3-handed for bragging rights and 7 points up top if you win this 6-max encounter.
He would have defended.
Tough spot here for Xuan Lu 3-handed. What do you think?
This is really
she's gonna do?
close.
I think it's a. This is a call.
I know it's kind of the onus on Jake to gather some chips now, and he only has 12 big blinds, but
Very close, but
I think this is one of the best hands we're gonna raise fold here. 3-handed.
I mean, it's not a great spot to be in. I've got to be honest.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's so much
One of
easier
my
too
favorite things
to.
about playing with your
Plus, we
friends
can
is
just
being
get
able to
raise
use
king.
slow roll, so hopefully get a good opportunity.
Chance saying he's going to be deploying a slow roll strategy. And Xuan Lu, again in a commanding position.
Jack. Just kidding.
And Jake needs a 7 on the river, otherwise he will be eliminated.
Or a 3 for a chop. It has not come.
Good
Good game,
game, Jake. Out in third, Xuan Lu.
I'm getting so card racked. Whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah, Xuan Lu running good, and she's heads up against Chance Kornuth to win this match. Jake Cody exits with 3 points secured for the London Rule, 5 points guaranteed for both of these players now, and 7 points up top.
Yeah, a bit of a slow start for the London Royals so far. 4 days into the GPL, again,
I have more time bank battle, so that's pretty exciting.
we've remarked about how they're probably the strongest team player-wise in the league, but unfortunate turn of events today for Justin Bonomo, and there Jake Cody was able to get 3 more points for his team.
But definitely doesn't hurt.
And Chance is going to have a tough decision when Xuan bets here. King high is often good if it goes check-check. If you're wondering why
She'd
Chance...
bet a lot bigger with a 7. I think she'd bet an ace on the turn. I don't think she'd value bet 6s, so I think I'm going to call here.
Yeah, for those of you guys a bit newer to poker, might seem like that was an incredibly light call, but these players have the greatest respect for each other, and Chance bets most of his hands better than King High on that river, and Warren Xuan was turning...
It's have to get a showdown because then I can have a stronger limping ranges and protect some of my limps.
Xuan Lu with a pretty big chip edge here. Just 3.5 minutes left of the 1,000, 2,000 level. Chance electing to just flat with the Queen Jack off. Similar to what we were talking about earlier, where he decided to defend the King Jack
Here we
suited.
have ace high and various backdoors. We are going to be betting for value.
Chance cutting out a raise, yeah.
Obviously not a very good turn card for us. Even though he's not repping too much since, you know, I guess he could have 2 pair, but even then, I'd be looking to slow play a lot of 2 pairs. So I'd actually give him a lot
I
of
was just
like
trying to fold out her like
random
queen
straight
threes,
draw
that type of hand. I
hands.
don't know if I can bet that card.
Although with our 8, we do kind of block some of those as well.
Again, I think a bit of an instance.
Considering he only has one pot size bet behind, we can't really, hope to bluff this on multiple streets. Although that river,
I don't know, I just feel like I'm getting called here. I don't know why. It's close.
I guess sometimes he just has like a random 5 or a deuce, but don't think our line would make too much sense if after we check back turn. Okay, awesome.
Damn it. Good hand.
Chance frustrated there. A shove would have got through on the river. But perhaps another instance of him maybe underestimating Xuan a little bit with that very small check raise. She's going to take pot odds there a lot with any kind of equity hand in even ace high. So perhaps a little bit of a mistake.
And the story of these Americas matchups have been, the women, how much they've shown up and represented their franchises. The Montreal Nationals, of course, for Xuan Liu and Kitty Kuo. Pardon me, I was just corrected by her husband on Twitter. I don't want to make that mistake again. It is Kitty Kuo. Kitty Kuo of the LA Sunset. Just showing that they're, gender really doesn't mean anything when it comes to the skill set in poker, and these two great representatives, not just for their countries, but also for women in poker.
Turn card for us.
She can't really have any kings. I think she'd shove 100% of her king X's pre.
It's a really good point there by Chance.
I think we can still probably bet this for value. Especially after they just saw the hand I bluffed Kitty on.
She bet super small. I was going to consider shoving for value, but I think that would be
Somewhat
bad.
thin. Okay.
Damn it.
If Chance is looking us up there with a 6 or a 7, I like the bet.
Great analysis
maybe
there
around
by
15 big
Chance.
blinds.
This looks like it might go in here.
Yeah. She could limp call or shove.
Easy call if she
I
shoves.
think we can limp call if he shoves. Hand is
Yeah,
not
I think if the hand was
outright, not
stronger,
tricky, no,
might limp the raise.
I like this strategy. Wow, this is again unorthodox with Chance.
Crazy though, so maybe just raise call. And
We did expect him to be attacking our limps at some
this is pretty
frequency,
cool.
so
This is pretty cool to
Yeah.
just have a raising range.
okay.
Nice from Chance. He's got it in ahead, but
Considering how hot we're running.
he's going to
Sorry,
need to
Chan.
fade some outs.
Women in poker!
Good game, guys.
GG Chance Kornuth. Absolutely fantastic showing from him.
Shadow she would have called as well, so I don't
See?
think that
Like,
I lost
oh my god, is
that.
that...
And,
Oh shit.
and Xuan Liu is the
Okay.
winner of the second match of today. 7 points for the Montreal
What was I
Nationals.
gonna say?
Next time.
I told you guys it was gonna be for Taiwan and one for China. Big game Chance.
You heard it there first. Xuan Liu, one for China, one for Taiwan. Great showing from the women in the two heats. Of course, Kitty Kuo taking the first one, Xuan Liu taking the second heat. A lot of different kind of skills shown by a bunch of different players. Obviously, we had stars. The way that Joao came out in the first match. Obviously, Federholz, but this one. All about the women. It was great to see, and getting a much needed, great win there for the Montreal Nationals.
Well, of course, we've spoken about the luck factor in poker, but if anyone had any doubt about the skill element required in this game, Xuan Liu would have changed their opinion because she put on a fantastic performance. But not only that, she was able to break down very, very clearly what she was thinking at every point on every street with her hand selection, with her bet sizing, and that was really insightful for anyone tuning in and a real thrill for me. And the other thing I've got to say is I criticised Chance a little bit early on.
Yeah, you
he,
did.
I think, got a little bit excited, understandably,
Yeah.
about making his debut in the GPL, picked some I think made some mistakes with his strategy, playing a little bit too loose and not giving his opponents enough respect. But he also put on a fantastic performance, made an amazing bluffing
chop, yeah.
Xuan Lu off the best hand on the turn, and then Jake Cody off a chop on the river. Really one of the most exciting hands we've seen in the 6-max format, and Chance Kornuth really one to watch out for moving forward in the GPL. So that was great to see.
Yeah, and I think that's why Maria Ho selected Chance Kornuth as her wild card, in the last round, I believe, of the GPL draft. This is a guy that is going to be really creative. He's going to, talk about the hands. He's going to explain his thought process. He has those crystal blue eyes that you couldn't really see that well this time, but I'm telling you, they're in there. And Chance is just great for the Global Poker League. So exciting to watch him play, and such a cool poker name to have too, Chance Kornuth. Chance's cards online.
I see what you did there, yeah. For sure. And also, I think one of the things is, I think Xuan Lu from this will get a lot of new subscribers to her Twitch channel, because in a way it was a little advert for her.
Absolutely.
For those guys who are trying to promote themselves on Twitch, who are running Twitch streams of their tournament runs on a regular basis, there'll be a lot of people who will see that, think, yeah, I can go to her Twitch channel for a night's entertainment when the Global Poker League isn't on, of course, and enjoy that and learn some strategy as well. So across the two matches, really fantastic to see a real diversity of poker talent. You mentioned also Joao Simao and Kitty Kuo in the first game. Great stuff from the Global Poker League today. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and the one thing we really should mention, one of the craziest turn of events in the Global Poker League history in the future, Kevin MacPhee out within the first 3 rounds, hands of both rounds.
Wow.
He was here so briefly, we practically forgot about him.
Yeah, I did forget about Kevin. I mean, Kevin MacPhee, incredible pedigree within the game. Don't worry about him. He'll be back. He's in good company as well, because the other person who did that is
Tony Gregg,
Jungle Man, and Tony Gregg.
Yeah,
so 3 real stars of the game. But it shows how competitive this format is, how competitive the Global Poker League is when you've got players of that kind of caliber putting up donuts for their teams.
Yeah, no match is easy, and it just really goes to show. I mean, you look at this one, obviously coming in, the big heavy hitters, we were thinking Joao Simao, Kitty Kuo, Jake Cody, of course, Federer Holtz, but the women come out to played extremely well, really talked about their thought process in a very great way, and it's just really great to see. Okay, guys, we have Xuan Lu on the line here, so we're going to throw to Laura in the lounge, and of course, the handsome Eric Denny to talk to Xuan Lu about her big win.
Thank you so much, Sam and Griffin. Really excited to get Xuan Lu on the line here. Are you joining us now via Skype? 7 points for the Nationals. Is she there? There she is. Looking good, sounding good, playing good. Well done. You're doing it for the girls.
Thank you so much. I really needed that one after the first round.
We also saw Mike McDonald take all of the points, the 7 points last week as well. Did you feel a bit of pressure there with watching him play last week?
Not really. I learned something every time I play from him. But the thing with being Timex is that there's not too many players above you. So, you have that level of expectation to also meet. Whereas don't think anybody had any expectations for me. It was all looking forward to just taking things down on my own terms.
Xuan, as a fellow Canadian, talk to me about the excitement of playing for the national team, the Montreal Nationals, representing the whole country. You're in beautiful Toronto. I guess it's grayish Toronto at the moment. But talk to me about the honor of playing for Montreal.
Oh, wow. It's so incredible. I mean, I guess I'm a little butthurt that the teams wasn't in Toronto, just because, we kind of think we're the center of the universe. But obviously, I love Montreal. I tied with second favorite city in Canada. And obviously, tremendous poker talent from there. So, yeah, super happy, stoked. Cannot be thankful enough that I got selected for the team.
What's your interaction been like with your manager, Marc-Andre Ladouceur, and the other members of the team, the Montreal Nationals? Have you been chatting much pre-games?
Before being drafted by Mark, I only hung out with him a few times, and not after some tournaments, at the bar. I didn't actually realize what a great leader he was. Basically, every time there's an important decision, he not only gathers everybody's opinion. He, if it's kind of something that's really important, he'll literally call up every single person just to get their feedback. and let us know what he's doing. So, there's like he makes us all feel like we're really valuable members of the team.
Xuan, as a fellow Canadian, nothing made me laugh more than you apologizing that you were having issues trying to manage your time, dealing with hands, and of course trying to explain to the public what you were doing. You did a really great job. I've seen you obviously on Twitch a few times, but you really did. I think our broadcast team was very impressed with the way you were breaking down hands. How does that work in the sense that you're playing for the win here, but also trying to educate the masses?
Actually, teaching poker is something that's somewhat new to me. I realized like after playing poker for a few years, but not really working on the fundamentals, it's just like really lagging behind the skill that because I want to get better, teaching was a great way of doing that. And, with the GPL stuff and the twitching, everything just like kind of came together for me. And I really do enjoy it a lot. Like I'm still, trying to be more articulate about my thought processes at the same time, especially if I'm still playing. But I think it'll only get better.
How are you finding chatting into the webcam whilst you're actually playing? Obviously, you said you're getting better at that, but is it something you're enjoying to do, like to teach everyone in a way?
To be honest, I still get super duper nervous. But but once I get in the groove, like I've been playing poker for so long, like a lot of the things just come really naturally for me. So when I'm really in the groove, I just kind of like don't notice it's there, and I actually kind of like that. Even though people communicate with me, it's like not exactly in real time. Like when I Twitch, I see their chat like and can respond in terms. So that kind of like non-immediate interaction really suits my personality.
Xuan, talk about, just quickly, we only have a few minutes left, but the University of Waterloo, which has produced probably by far the biggest clan of amazing poker players. Talk to me about going to Waterloo and all the amazing players that came out of there, the Watsons, the Timexes.
Yeah, I went to because I got like a partial scholarship there, but I know it's like super math school, but I actually went for social development studies at the time. Yeah, like definitely being able to network with some of the great poker minds out there. Like Mad Dog used to play in my home game that I ran in second year college. So like it was really awesome just like being inspired by all these incredible poker minds and like hoping that I can follow their footsteps.
Thank you so much for chatting with us, Xuan Liu there of the Montreal Nationals, scoring 7 points. You bulldozed that table at the end, and we hope to see you back in action very soon for the Nationals. There she goes. We're going to head back to the desk now and take a little look at some key hands.
Thanks so much, Laura and Eric. Great to see Xuan. Obviously, so thrilled to be such a great representative of the Montreal Nationals. Getting the 7 points there. Marc-Andre and the team must be so thrilled. Yeah, Xuan Liu, gracious and articulate. I expect nothing less. She talked us through her thought processes across the two games, particularly in the second game, in fantastic manner. And as I said, you can follow her Twitch stream, follow her on Twitter as well, because she's a real star in the making. Now let's talk about that last hand. Obviously, being 10 big blinds effective, King 10 suited against Ace 9. A lot of the time, this hand wouldn't be that interesting. It would just be an all-in showdown. But both of them playing deceptively, deciding to limp in with the King 10 suited, and then, of course, instead of just shoving, it looks like we're having a bit of a technical difficulty right now, guys, and I'm going super fast. But, yeah, of course, guys. So, anyways, the King 10 suited, she has it on the button for 10 big blinds effective. Instead of shoving, she limps to trap. Chance Kornuth, instead of shoving with his, 13 big blinds, what have you, he elects to raise. She shoves. The money goes in. He's dead by the turn, and a clean sweep in the Americas matches today for the women. Yeah, I think the thing that's most interesting is
previously, of course, in general, when we think of trapping, we think about slow playing aces, slow playing kings. But what we're seeing with these short stacks in the GPL is these players have very sophisticated strategies despite the low number of blinds. So Xuan Liu is limping a hand like King 10 suited because it's got playability post-flop when he checks, but also she beats some of the hands in his shoving range. He's going to be shoving, Chance actually articulated that he thought Xuan would shove every king. So if he's employing a strategy where he shoves every king, you can limp a hand like King 10, call off. Occasionally you're behind, as she was in this situation, but you also have part of his range dominated. It's also interesting, by the way, that Chance has a raising range. Again, with 10 big blinds, traditionally we thought of just shoving all in or checking in that spot. He wants to be able to raise some junk hands and fold, obviously, and raise hands like ace-9 and call off against worse.
Yeah, it was just really great to see. I mean, we're seeing so many different amazing players in the Global Poker League, playing in the Six Max format, playing in the heads-up format, and you really get to see, obviously there are contrasting styles. Here's the hand, of course, Xuan with the limp for 2,400, coming to Chance, talking about how he was going to shove. Really fun hand here to watch. Chance electing to raise to about 7,800, and seeing the elation on Xuan Liu's face when she ended up winning this all-in showdown.
Yeah.
Right there on the turn, little giggle, really great to see, and what a figure she's going to be here in the Global Poker League, putting up some much-needed points for the Montreal Nationals. Really, another thing we saw, Sam, was just about how different things can be when you're getting the card distribution. I mean, in that first match, Xuan just looked like she was, not necessarily overmatched, but it's for someone that isn't familiar with how card dead she really was, it looked like she wasn't a factor. This match, getting a lot of hands to the point where she was even giggling. So yeah, she ran hot. She talked about running hot, but she had big bluffs. She made some nice calls. I thought she played really excellently, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah, of course. Xuan made that very, very big bluff with just queen high against Kitty Quo. And then, of course, the other person we should give some credit to here is Chance Kornuth. I mean, what a week for the LA Sunset. First, they signed Aaron Paul, perhaps the most talked about, certainly the most talked about signing.
Drafted, bitch.
Yeah, in GPL history. That's got to be huge morale boost. For someone like Chance Kornuth, an opportunity to get in some great home games, I'm sure, number one. But then also he puts up a stellar showing. And Fedor Holtz, obviously, was also one of the stars of the show in the first match, both with his webcam presence and his charisma that we know about, and also his performance. So great stuff for the LA Sunset. Maria Ho going to be over the moon.
Yeah, I mean, it was too bad we didn't get to see more Mustafa Knit. We saw a lot of masterclass play, but of course, next time we're going to try to get him on the webcam for you guys, because as the first over selection, it doesn't get more entertaining and more skilled than Mustafa. So many amazing players to choose from, just the way that they play, and any day in the Global Poker League, it could be someone's day. You look how Justin Bonomo hasn't even been mentioned today because he ran bad, got coolered after being one of the stars of the show last week. So again, never know what to expect. So many good players to choose from. Guys, if you want more information about the Global Poker League, this was day 4. I'm Griffin Benger. He's Sam Grafton. Check out www.globalpokerleague.com. Join the conversation on Twitter @GPL. Get on twitch.tv/GPL. This was exciting. This was a great day. We're excited for some big heads-up matches tomorrow. But before we go, I just want to say, Sam, this has been awesome. Let's get Laura and Eric on the case at the lounge.
I think I'm going to be out of a job soon if Griffin carries on like that. Eh? Didn't even let Sam have a word in edgeways, did he?
Sam's okay with that. Sam's okay.
Well, Montreal Nationals top of the table for the day. Will it stay like that though?
Yeah, 20 points for Montreal. That's great for them. Third or tied for second overall with Hong Kong. It's funny that both of these second Six Max matches Montreal has won. Timex last week, where we saw him just upset and wanting to win that. And I think a bit of the same for Xuan this week. And Jakobsen had 1 win out of three games. So Montreal's sitting pretty for now, 20 points.
Yeah, 2 points clear. Very nice. Don't think
That's
Jake...
Right. 2 wins. The story remains the Las Vegas Moneymakers, whom without a single victory have collected 18 points. And that's great. I don't think Jake and Jonathan were not able to do what Zeno did, but still a strong showing from the team, and they just keep on accumulating points. So they're playing well.
I thought Jake actually might do well because he started with the chip lead and kept it for quite some time there, didn't he? Until Xuan just ran over everyone.
That's right. Los Angeles Sunset in third, finally some more points after the Chance Kornuth second place finish. Los Angeles did need those points. A lot of pressure on the Sunset. The big announcement this week, but also the team favored to win the Americas Conference, and things weren't going too well, and their star pupil a third, a fourth, and a fifth for Fedor Holz. It wasn't what they were exactly looking for. Olivier Bousquet comes in on Thursday to maybe rack up 9 points. 6 points at the minimum is what most people would assume. So LA in really, really good shape at the moment. The New York Rounders, 16 points, 0 points today for New York, whom came into today
Britain's
as one of
not
the top
going to be a
teams.
happy man,
Yeah,
is he?
it's a tough day, and a tough day for MacPhee because
The bad
in both
boys
cases.
did bad.
Yeah, but in both cases, I mean, he didn't do. There's nothing much he could have done.
Yeah, sure.
So it wasn't a bad showing by MacPhee whatsoever. I'm sure he wants to get right back on the horse. I would not be surprised if he's back in the lineup next week. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. Sao Paulo, unfortunate loss by Joao in the second match, but really a great performance in the first one. So Sao Paulo up there, and then we'll see what happens next. San Francisco, Kitty Kuo not being able to do as well in the second match as he did in the first. But the first was a victory, and that was a big, big win for San Francisco.
Yeah. So Bryn's boys, I think they've got Jason Mercier playing this week. Like a heads up.
Yeah, some pretty sick matchups coming up later this week.
Well, let's take a look at the Eurasian Conference standings as well, because that happened just a little earlier on today. Paris Aviators at the top with 24 points, taking a bit of a lead now. 4 points clear of the Hong Kong Stars. We obviously spoke to Selena early on. She came into the day with the lead for Eurasia, but it didn't go so great for Guodong early on. He got a little frustrated, shall we say, with the Russian.
Well, he tried something and it didn't work out, right? Interesting to note that Paris now sits atop the whole table, so number one in the whole league with 24 points. That's based on great performances.
That's big.
And they've really come out with the big guns right from the start. Both last week with Elke, Davide Kitai, and then again this week. So with Mike Lea, who was really playing well for them.
He really did well. We've got Luno playing for Paris.
That's right, the secret weapon.
The debut.
Yeah, we'll get to the schedule next week and for tomorrow. But Alexandre Luno is a type of player that might not be the most exciting that we'll see on screen. However, the way he plays and the way Dario Sammartino play, that's the match I'm most excited for. But Alexandre Luno, definitely one of the top online poker players in the world, one of the brightest poker minds out there.
We saw Mustafa Kanat play for the Rome Emperors as well earlier on. Rome sinking a little bit from where they were last week, I think.
Yeah, just a bit. I mean, pretty much in the same area. I think for Canada, it was a strong performance. In both matches, played very well. I think it's a good start for the number one overall pick. A lot of pressure on King Mustafa, and I think he did very well for himself. I think Max Pescatori will be happy with his lead horse's first performance. And then Sammartino tomorrow. I talked about this in USA Today about the fact that, you have the number one and number two horses still not having played yet. So I really think Rome is still in a good position despite last week not being the best for them.
Let's take a look now at the schedule for tomorrow. It's obviously heads up for Eurasia. Oh, I'm really excited for some of these matches. Obviously, Randy Liu Nanonoko played last week. 3 out of 3 he managed to do.
He's officially graduated from Randy Liu to Nanonoko, officially with the Jungle Man title.
And he will be playing Sam Trickett. That is our first matchup. That's match 15, kicking off at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. Central European time. We were just talking about it. Alexandre Luno of the Nosebleed fame. That was the documentary about the high-stakes poker players. He'll be playing Dario Sammartino for the Rome Emperors. That one's kicking off 11:30 Pacific, 2:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central European. And then a matchup we saw earlier on, even though it's 6 max day today, we saw Vladimir Trojanovski face up to Dominic Nietzsche heads up in the 6 max. That one kicks off 2 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern, or 11 p.m. Central European. And going from what we saw of that, it should be an interesting match too, I think.
Tune in for that one because it'll be, I think, much of the same. It'll be the Nietzsche show, but Trojanovski will be the one you'll be glued to because every reaction is so amazing. He doesn't talk much, but when he does, just his breath changing during the hand is so great. And there's a mutual admiration there, but there's also very much a competitive battle going on between those two. Trojanovski admitting to us earlier that winning that second match against Nietzsche was really important to him because he had done him wrong in the first match today. So we'll not be surprised if we get fireworks, but of the friendly variety tomorrow afternoon.
I love how we're just creating all this rivalry between the players. It's wonderful. Well, if you've missed anything this evening, then you can catch all of the replays, all of the actions, all of the feature hands on globalpokerleague.com. Head over to there. We will be back here tomorrow, though, so please please do join us. As we said, it's going to be all about heads-up play from the Eurasian Conference. We're kicking off with a very interesting match tomorrow. Sam Trickett versus Randy Liu Nanonoko. That is kicking off at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central European Time. Please do come and join us then. Up-to-date standings, schedule, stats, and information on your favorite team, as well as full-length match replays, highlights, and epic hands from all of our matches, and much, much more.